Are you ready? The Kornelia Stephanie Show. Wake up to love, your call to action. Join Kornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Kornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kornelia Stephanie Show. It's our first Stories of Hope in January of 2024. I hope that your New Year's experience is unfolding beautifully with ease and that there's more health, more play, and more joy in your life this year. So I have an exciting show for us today, an amazing dynamic duo that's going to start us off. High executive coaching we're talking about, ladies and gents. And for those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, we thank you so much for tuning in. So the power couple, I want to call them, even though they're not a couple, they're supporting each other with their work. They are here to inspire us that doesn't matter, that you can change your career at any age, and most especially if you're past 50. So that's the story of hope that we want to highlight today. And I want to welcome my guests to the show. Welcome to the show today.
Hi, Kornelia. Thank you very much for having us.
So I'm Anjali. Thank you so much, Kornelia. And that's Urvina.
Urvina, yeah.
Anjali and Urvina. And you both are from the UK, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
From London.
From London, yeah.
From London. Okay. So it's got to be about 9 o'clock there now?
8 o'clock in the evening. Yes.
Okay, 8 o'clock. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. You know, even though it's already nighttime for you guys. So tell us about what you want to highlight today. What is it that you want to inspire the audience with?
Well, certainly one of the biggest things we want to share is that, you know, you can change your career, move careers at any age, especially if you've been in one for a while. And it can become daunting, but it can be done. And the biggest thing that happens when you do that is huge doors will open, opportunities are opening, and your mind completely opens. And it's phenomenal. The excitement you get, the joy you get, the love you get is amazing when you open yourself up to it.
And also, you don't need to wait till you're 50 to do it. If you are feeling stagnant or you're becoming complacent in your career, then it's a leap year, take the leap. Make it happen, make small shifts, and you can change the direction that your career is going in. Not necessarily going to a different career, but it can certainly be a lot better than what you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
So both of you were in a career. You both were professional women in careers with companies and whatnot. And now you have used all of your experience that you learned with what you were doing, the skill sets you've developed, and started helping women, unleash or begin their journey with, possibly starting their own businesses, or even with, working in companies still. So, or changing jobs, because I feel like a lot of women in particular, they feel stuck, like they feel so loyal to the job that it's hard for them to think that there's something else. What do you want to say about that?
Absolutely. And that was both of us, actually. I'm going to say in our previous lives, that was both of us. And I'll let Urvina say her story, but she's got a longer work history than I do.
Yeah. I mean, I was in my career for 27 years and I absolutely loved it. You know, it was, I was helping people. I was in the world of cancer. So I was helping patients. I was an educator for students and staff. I absolutely loved it. But I had gotten to a point where I could literally do the job with my eyes closed. I was bored. I really had no challenges. And at the end of it, actually, I thought I might actually retire in that job. It never occurred to me even that I could go somewhere else and do something different until I no longer had that role. And it forced me to really look into, well, actually, what is it that you can offer that you can and make better for other people? I was making a difference in that world. I wanted to make a difference in a different way. So yeah, I went and we created the business where we could then help women who are also stuck in their careers or struggling to move in any way within their organizations or have lost confidence completely, because a lot of women we found, at least those who come to us, have been in their careers for a while, and therefore they've quite rightly have nurtured their families for so long that the career has taken a back step until it comes to the forefront, and then it's an issue.
Yeah, and
And
I
so,
think that even now, moving into 2024, 2025, we're really being called to do what brings us joy, what we're
right.
skilled at, what we're gifted at. And if we feel stuck by any means, then it's time to get unstuck and find a way where we can really express ourselves fully with the gifts that we came here to live,
Completely.
right?
Women in particular have so many gifts to offer, and they don't always see them. So we kind of help pull that out a lot more, because they have a ton of skills both between their jobs and their home life, and it's about figuring out, what can you do with that, because for women, in our opinion, are phenomenal in what they
Women are
can do.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
would you like to tell us your story, Anjali?
I can do.
Yeah.
Mine's a little bit straightforward in that
Yeah.
I was in the corporate sector for 17 years. I was navigating hierarchies, organizational structures. And for me, I became so complacent in my career. And I kept waiting for a promotion. I actually waited for my last promotion for 7 years, and I took a beating out of it. And it was only through coaching that I realized that I was the one who was stopping myself and that I'd become complacent. And so for me, it was about sharing that with others and making sure other people don't become complacent in their careers. We spend almost 80% of our working lives in a job or working. So why be miserable? Why be complacent about it? I mean, it's a long time that we're spending now.
And getting longer.
And getting longer. So it makes sense to do something that you enjoy, something that you want to do, as opposed to something that you have to do because you don't know what else to do.
That's good. That's good. Now I'm curious, when women want to work with you, what happens? Do they get both of you in a one-on-one session? How does that work?
Usually when they book in, they'll get either one of us in a one-to-one session. So that's what we offer, is a live one-to-one session with us. However, we both have our own strengths. So if there are certain topics that come up in those conversations, then one of us can pitch in and work with those clients on a one-off basis, just because we have the ability to utilize our strengths. So you get the best of both of us in one program.
Wow, that's really amazing. I think it's so awesome what you two are doing. It's very unique. It's very unique. You don't see that out there. Like I said, I don't know how many podcasts I've done since 2017 at the Transformation Talk Network.
Yeah.
And I've never had two people come on that are in business together and that are supporting each other in this way. So give us just an idea of what happens, the changes you've seen with the people you've helped.
I remember one lady, she was an accountant, doing consulting work. She loved maths quite a lot, but she really did not like what she was doing. She didn't care for it. People didn't care for her because she was consulting. And one of the things she felt really strongly was that she felt she was just not making a difference. And the thing that she wanted to do was transfer to becoming a health coach, completely different. she was around late 30s, if I remember. Yeah, late 30s. And she'd done already a lot of work around how do I, explored all the different options, but she was just overwhelmed. She couldn't figure out what's that first step I need to take, or second step, or how do I navigate this arena. And also she had financial implications as well. So it was all very, very overwhelming. So that was one of the ladies that we worked with. And she's actually now a very successful health coach. In fact, my husband and I also did some health training with her. And both of us lost an enormous amount of weight. So it was great.
Wow, that's so awesome. That's a really great way to network also, and support each other in that way. So
Yes.
when people want to find you on social media, they
Mm.
want to look you up. They want to look, what's your website? What's your social media handles?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram. So on Instagram, our handle is You Can Coaching. That's UKAN Coaching. And it's the same on Facebook, the same name. We're also on LinkedIn with our individual profiles. So it's Urvina Shah or Anjali Gudhka. It's Gudhka. So yeah, we're available on any of these platforms or for social media.
Good. Let's certainly be sure to like each other on LinkedIn.
Yes.
That's a great network as well. And I just think it's wonderful what you ladies are doing and how you're helping people become unstuck. Really, it's what it is.
Yeah.
The message is clear. It's like you don't need to be spending your life doing something that isn't bringing you joy, that you really excel and that you really love doing. You love getting out of bed in the morning to go to your work,
Yeah.
whatever that is. And a lot of us, we love helping people, don't we?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you all believe in a word for the year, a theme for the year?
We do, but we have different ones.
Okay, what is it?
Mine is elevate.
Elevate,
And mine is manifest.
manifest. That's
Yeah.
good. I will co-sign on both of those. So my word is I am.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
good one.
so I
Yeah.
could right away say that I am mastering manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
I am enjoying my elevation,
Yeah.
elevate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really beautiful. I think this year we're going to have a lot of fun with our manifestations, with our elevation. Also, I did notice in your bios that you did use the word ascension, and we're all down for that too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know we're going to see you again on a longer podcast in the future. Thank you so much for coming and inspiring us today to become unstuck.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much, Cornelia. It's a
Cornelia.
pleasure.
Oh, okay. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I am just so delighted to introduce you to our next guest, Maria Palmer. She is here. She's currently residing in New York, right outside of New York, an hour outside of New York, you said, right, Maria?
Yeah, right in northern New Jersey, an hour outside of New York City.
Right. Well, welcome to the Kornelia Stephanie show. You are a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're an author, you're a writer. And yeah, we're going to learn a little bit about your incredible story, which really has me sitting on the edge of my seat because I've never heard of anything like that before. So why don't you tell us about it?
Sure. So thank you so much, Cornelia, for having me on today. It's really my pleasure to be with you and your audience. So a little bit about me. I am all the things that you mentioned. I also work in the nonprofit world as a grant writer, helping people without a hand out, but a hand up to get themselves back on their feet through basic needs with food, housing insecurity, helping people transition in the education world. So I love what it is that I do. So a little bit about my own personal story. So I grew up in this really magical time during the 80s and early 90s in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in a little suburb called McKees Rocks, who nobody's ever heard of until last year, right around this time. The Buffalo Bills star Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field and in a cardiac arrest. And he, in fact, is from McKees Rocks. And the daycare that he's now raised, I think, $9 million for, shares a back alleyway with which once was my father's Italian top 10 restaurant in America, the Prima Donna. And so my story is one of amazement and wonder. My father took this failing business in a small little corrupt part of town, and he struggled for probably the first 3 years trying to find his footing and turned it into one of America's hot spots. And we had celebrities and sports stars and journalists and anybody and everybody that you could think of that was somebody during the 80s and 90s had been to the restaurant and probably was a good customer at our restaurant. And then one day, everything changed with a knock at my door. And it was the federal government looking for my father. Somebody had mentioned his name in a federal grand jury investigation as their get out of jail free card. And it took everything that we had and sort of flipped our world upside down. And we became part of a 3-year investigation with the federal government, which ended with my dad pleading guilty to tax evasion charges and serving 5 months in a federal prison. And our lives really flipped upside down. And it was at that moment where I was probably at my lowest point because this came out of the blue. My dad was not a person of interest at all. He had never done anything wrong per se. He had actually been really great for the community and hired local people and helped the economy and really believed in charitable work and giving back. And so this really kind of came from left field. And, at the time I was only 20 years old. And so I did what I thought I should do. And I moved across the country to Los Angeles because everybody knows if you have problems, you hop on a plane and they just stay where they originated and they don't follow you, right?
Yeah, everybody knows that. Yeah.
So I was hoping that, but obviously that was not the case. And I got to Los Angeles and I was really having a hard time just balancing my day and trying to get through the day. And it took me going to a presentation of a spunky Catholic nun who started an organization called Get on the Bus that helped bring children to their incarcerated parents for Mother's Day and Father's Day. And I felt compelled after her presentation to tell her a little bit about my story. And really, the rest is history. I started speaking on behalf of that organization. And then, as a fluke, the director ended up quitting one day. And I asked my nun what she was going to do about it. And she said, well, I have somebody else in mind for the job. And I asked her who. And she said, well, you. I said, no, 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 no. I cannot do that. I'm just out of college. I cannot run a statewide organization that's, this huge budget, and I don't have the skills. And she believed in me wholeheartedly. And she said, Maria, it will be easy, which was the first of many lies. Nothing in life is ever easy. But what it was incredibly rewarding for me. And whenever I started working there, I thought that I was going to be the conduit to change the lives of so many people. In reality, that didn't happen. What happened is the people that I was serving helped to change my life and helped to teach me things about resiliency and healing and hope and how to be part of a family and how to pick up your bootstraps whenever you're going through thick mud and trudge through and know that there is another way and that there's always hope. And so I come here today with that message for anybody who's listening that might be out there that's having a hard time, especially now. I don't like New Year's time because I think everybody sets these really high expectations of all the things that they're going to change about themselves and all the ways that they're going to, quote unquote, be a better person or do something. I think, honestly, resolution should happen throughout the year and you should always work on yourself. But, this time can also come at a cost for people right around the holidays and throughout the new year. Some people can feel very lonely or very sad. And if that's you and you're listening right now, please, please, please hang on and know that the tough times only last for a little bit, but the tough people are the ones that get through those times, and you can get through it and you can completely write your own narrative, because we cannot change the things that have happened to us. But what we can do is we can do something about what our future holds. And it's been such a beautiful journey for me to take back the pen, to write my father's story, to go on this wonderful media tour, and hearing all of the ways in which this story has kind of transformed other people. I feel so grateful and so blessed, and it makes it all worth it, right? Whenever you go through something tough, but it can help other people. And, that's what I'm here to talk about today, for sure.
Yeah, so inspiring. It's so many things that you said. I certainly would like to have you come back for a longer podcast to talk to you further, just because I have a lot of questions I want to ask you that are all sitting there. The thought that I had about,
Love to.
yeah, the thought I had about when you got on the plane to go to LA, and how we all know that if we run away or we go to another place, how our everything is different. But it was really actually, you were really actually called there for sure to go there, because you would have never met your inspirational nun. And so that was right. That was a really good a good connection, a great connection, because that started a whole bunch of other things, right, for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That nun is still rocking at 76 years old. She just started another nonprofit. She's Sister Suzanne Jabro. Look her up. She's doing incredible things.
Yeah, I think that's so
Somebody to
amazing. And
follow.
again, that's so inspirational, because now is the time where we can really choose to live longer, right? By taking better
Mhm.
care of ourselves, things that we didn't do before, but what we can do now. And there's just so much hope. There's so many new beginnings that await for us as we're co-creating our new earth together. The old things that are no longer sustainable, of course, they are crumbling and falling away so that we can make a better way. And also, that's why when you use the word resilient, uh, reminding our listeners to not give up hope, and to remember how
Yes.
far we've come, right? Because we've
Yes.
come a
Amazing.
long way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us where we can get your book. Tell us
Sure.
your social media handles.
Yep, absolutely. So the book is On the Rocks, The Prima Donna Story by Maria C. Palmer and Ruthie Robbins, and we're widely available on Amazon, Target, Barnes and Noble, most bookstores, and also social media, Facebook and Instagram. I'm at Jo Costanzo, Costanzo, Prima Donna, Primadonna, and my website is mariacpalmer.com.
Yeah, and what did I read in your bio about this book is possibly getting made into a film?
Yeah, it has a shopping agreement right now. So if you're a studio and you're looking for an awesome story, give me a call or give my agent a call and let's make it happen.
There you go. That's really, really exciting. So, wow. What is your word? Do you have a word? Do you have a theme for the year that you're living by?
Yeah, I'm kind of living by trusting yourself, trusting hope for the future, and trusting that everything will fall into place, how it's supposed to. And even during those times where we're uncertain as to why this has happened, or it could be the worst day of your life, know that there's a reason why that has happened, and it's going to lead you to a better path. You may not be able to tell what that path is now, but you'll be grateful one day. Because I always tell my dad, if the stuff didn't happen to you, if you didn't go to prison, there's no story to tell, because nobody wants to read about somebody that hit all the home runs. People want to read about people that have a human element, that have been through something hard. And when you go through something hard, what do you take away from that? What's the most important thing to you? in those lessons. And so that's how I'm starting the new year.
In trust. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Maria Palmer, for coming on. We're going to bring you back to the Kornelia Stephanie show for a longer discussion. And
I'd love that. Thank you.
I know you've got snow coming where you're at. May it all, come and beautify your surrounding, but then also leave when it's time to go away.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to Florida on my book tour on Tuesday, so it's okay. We can have a little bit of snow.
Yeah, a little bit of snow, but then it's time to go away. All right.
Yes.
Well, we're going to take a break on the Kornelia Stephanie show. We'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. My next guest is Amey Stark-Foust. She spent her life trying to understand herself. And as a wife and mother, she put all of her wants and needs on the back burner to raise her children like many other moms. Her children are now adults, no longer need her like they did when they were young. As a professional executive assistant in corporate America, Amey spent many years working extremely hard to help provide for her family and make a name for herself with her husband of 29 years. But it wasn't until she was separated and ultimately divorced that she realized something was missing from her life. A journey of self-reflection helped her discover herself and the vivacious, spirited woman who had been hiding for years. Her side business, Resilient, was initially created using crafts as her outlet to express herself. Now Amey chooses to share part of her story in hopes to help other women find their true identities and sense of purpose. Still the same name, Amey's business is connecting with those women through multiple platforms and opening their eyes through their own resilience. Amey recently published a collaborative book, Shine Your Light, reached the Amazon bestseller list in 7 different categories when it was launched. Amey is proof that you can do anything you put your mind to. Welcome to the show today, Amey.
Hi there, how are you? Thank you for
Yes.
having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, I bet a lot of women can relate to you that they've discovered they're in a place and they discovered that they put their all, everyone else's needs ahead of their own. And all of a sudden, then you come to a point where you don't even really know who you are and what you want and what you like and what your needs are and what you want. So,
Absolutely.
right. Is that what happened to you?
It did. It did. I sort of lived vicariously through my children. They both played sports. We traveled with their sports, and I kind of just delved into their life full force. Really not thinking about what I wanted, what I liked. And it wasn't until they were grown and you look around and you think, well, they don't need me anymore. Now what? So you add in the mixture of getting a divorce. And this was right at the beginning of the pandemic. So I lived alone in an apartment, and it was, it was lonely. It was quiet, but it also gave me an opportunity to reflect. And although I was a Christian before, it gave me an opportunity to really pray, really seek guidance, really try and figure out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. And I spoke to a group of women recently and found that it's not just the idea that you go through something traumatic. You don't have to go through a divorce or something major in order to feel this way or in order to feel like you don't have an identity. So I wanted to encourage women, even the younger women getting married, starting a life or whatnot, encourage them to also, if there's something that you enjoy doing, whether it's knitting or kayaking or any of those things, to keep that and find time to do that when you're raising your kids or starting your family or continuing your career, trying to grow your career. Keep that special thing that sparks something in your soul, because you lose yourself. You lose yourself not just raising your kids, but also building your career and things like that. So I think it's a message for women of all ages, whether you're starting out and you're getting married, or whether you've been in a long marriage and things are going awry, or whether you're just reaching a retirement age and thinking, okay, what am I going to do with myself? I got married at a very early age. I had my children really young, which I'm grateful for. And raising them there was no greater joy. I had wonderful, wonderful kids. But that also put me in a position where I hadn't experienced a whole lot. I hadn't really traveled. I didn't know what I enjoyed. I didn't know what I liked. So the moment I became their mom, it was what they needed, what they wanted, what they liked. And I just, lived vicariously through them.
Wow. So now you are a writer, you are a speaker, you are an empowerer of women. You're speaking to women and you're helping women. Do you do one-on-one sessions with women as well, or is it just speaking to groups?
Right now, it's just speaking to groups. I haven't branched out. Our book just came out a couple of months ago, so it's really new. Taking that and using that kind of as a platform to speak to other women right now in just groups. I have not developed that. I'm still in corporate America and have been for a little over 35 years. So I'm still doing the day-to-day grind and whatnot. So this is kind of something that speaks to my heart and that I want to continue to do and maybe leave corporate America at some point.
Yeah, I totally can see you leaving corporate America. I just see you being a speaker, having your book, talking about this message, but you have to have something on the back end to give them, to enroll them into. They'll get the book, but something to bring them into, because that is an incredible way to, build your network, right? And
Absolutely.
you are a wonderful speaker, by the way,
Thank
because
you. Thank you.
yeah, you definitely are a wonderful speaker. You had me on the edge of every word, which means that, you are, yeah, you're a good speaker. So what is it that you want to say to the listener that's listening right now, um, that might feel stuck, or that might feel,
If you're feeling stuck, I think, which is kind of where I was when I first moved into my apartment, if you're feeling stuck, some of the things that helped me at the time, I took a lot of long walks. I listened to a lot of music. I just kind of looked around at things that I was grateful for and just kind of started from there. I'm grateful not just for this, but for that. Or I'm grateful that I get to see this great scenery. I'm grateful, it's just kind of an attitude of gratitude. And that's kind of how I started on the process of getting unstuck and also healing my heart. When I started at that point, I was really hurt. I was really lost. I, got married when I was 19 years old. I was nearing 50 now, and I didn't know what to do. So you start kind of from there and finding that inner peace, finding what brings you joy. That's when I started crafting a little more and coming up with things that that ignited my soul.
yeah. So do you feel like now that you have, because you mentioned in your bio that you help women discover their identity.
Hmm.
Do you feel that now you know more of who you are and what's important to
Absolutely.
you? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's great to have that feeling of going from this place of being lost, the place of not having a purpose or feeling like you are significant, to feeling like, now you're able to counsel some of your friends going through a divorce, or now you're able to speak to women and kind of give them an opportunity to see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can shine your light, so to speak, as the book is called. And it gives you an opportunity to work with other people, encourage them, and know that you're going to get through this on the other side.
Yeah, I think that's really, really great. A lot of, again, I think one of our purposes, we have, a lot, but one of our main purposes, is to discover who it is that we are,
Absolutely.
right? And to connect with who we are and know who we are, not who our society or our conditioning or who we thought we were.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's really great. Tell us the name of your book and where people can find it.
The name of the book is Shine Your Light. It's the third book of a series by the Light Beamers community. The other two were Elevate Your Voice and Step Into Your Brave. You can get all three of them on Amazon. And the proceeds on Amazon go to kiva.org. So all of the proceeds from all three books go to help other women start businesses that can't get traditional loans. Each book is a collaborative book. and they have multiple authors in them. There's a total of 33 women that made up these 3 books. So Shine Your Light is on Amazon currently.
Yeah, that's so awesome. That's so great. Wow. And what about your social media handles? Should people look you up on social media as well?
Absolutely. I go by Amey Deanne, and my name is spelled Amey and Deanne, and that's both on Facebook and on Instagram. And then my business is Resilient, RESILIENT because I'm here in Texas.
Excellent. Well, Amey, I think it's wonderful what you're doing. I certainly would love to speak with you again and have you on another podcast where we can have a longer discussion.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I just have one final word with, do you have a theme for the year? Do you have a word for the year? Do you have a word for the month?
I do have a word for the year, and I noticed a lot of people posting that on social media. Mine is consistency. Consistency in reaching out to people, consistency in posting, consistency in all areas of my life. So my word for the year is consistency.
Excellent. It's very inspiring. I love that word too, is being consistent. And again, one of our previous guests, her word was trust. Well, when we're consistent, we can trust more. We trust ourselves more, we trust each other more. And that's a beautiful way. So thank you for embodying that word and making that the word for the year. I want to thank you, and I'm going to have Ashley connect us again. And we're going to take a break on the Kornelia Stephanie Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. All I can say is Jesus Christ, oh my God. You're going to be feeling this energy because I'm certainly feeling it. Christina Ioannides is in the house, and she's a passionate self-defense expert, speaker, and mindset and empowerment coach. She launched her empowerment lifestyle brand, Fabulous and Fearless, while working full-time in her corporate career and wealth management. Today, Fabulous and Fearless empowers and educates women to be safe, strong, and assertive, whether in their personal life or professional career. We provide them with tips and tools to use their voice, stand up for themselves, and walk into a room. She has a special thing that she's going to say when you meet her. We're going to ask her about that. Walk into a room or a meeting with confidence and presence. Christina Ioannides is a martial artist with over 35 years of experience, a 6-time world karate fighting champion, and breast cancer survivor. She's a firm believer in the power of preparation, taking consistent action, and understands the importance of a strong mindset. She is a woman on a mission to empower women to be more aware and better prepared, as she believes these are the keys to giving women the best chance to tackle any hurdle, whether at work or in their personal life. When Christina is not empowering women, she enjoys training karate, running, reading, and cooking up one of her favorite Greek dishes. Welcome to the show today, Christina.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks
So
for having me so last minute.
Oh my God, this is so great. So we were talking before we came on, and you said the words, I want women to have the,
Biggest balls when they walk into a room.
you want women to have the biggest balls when they walk into a room. And why do you want that?
Because women should feel just as strong and powerful as the men do. It's not a competition, but they should have the confidence and the know-how, and the courage to say, I know what I'm doing. They trust themselves, and they are totally okay with the decisions that they're making.
Yeah. So are you telling me that you're still working in corporate as well while you're doing this right now too?
I am. I work full time in Manhattan in wealth management with a team of financial advisors, and then on the side, I am growing my side business, Fabulous and Fearless, which is an empowerment lifestyle brand. The main focus is teaching and speaking on self-defense to empower women, as I said, so that they are confident and have the courage to, trust themselves and know exactly what they're doing.
So I'm just trying to picture you in your finance wealth management office or whatever. Is that office full of men?
Predominantly.
Yeah, I can imagine. You're walking in, and you're walking in with your balls. And you know what you're doing, and you know how to ask for what you need and get down to business.
Absolutely. I speak my mind, not arrogant about it or egotistical, but I speak my mind, and I just won't allow them. When I say them, it doesn't matter whether it be my own bosses or the managers to bully me. If I'm not okay with something, I'm going to stand up. I will say something. It does not have to be confrontational, but you certainly have to stand up if you're feeling that you are being undermined or being bullied and not okay with whatever the situation may be. And that's what I try to impart through my speaking gigs.
Yeah, I think this is so important because when people are bullied, a lot of people don't even realize they're being bullied because they are just not wanting to look at it, or they're afraid of whatever this is. And so they just ignore it, but they're actually being bullied. And let's give a scenario of like how you would respond. So someone is coming in, they're telling you, they're the way that they're talking to you, or the what they're saying to you or whatever, and then and we know it's a bully situation, but then how would you respond in the moment? Or do you step back and go and then come back later, or how do you do that?
So I think it depends on the situation. Obviously, if it's a room full of people, you don't want to make everyone feel uncomfortable. So that may not be their time and place. So you have to know how to read the room and know when the right time is. Like I said, if it's a room full of people, it may not be the appropriate time to stand up and say to the person that the situation is taking place with that you didn't like the way you were treated. In a situation like that, after the meeting, I would take it wherever and address them and speak about the situation and say exactly how you feel. Like, I didn't like X, Y, and Z. I felt this way. And so that you clear the air and they know exactly what went on. Sometimes it's intentional. Sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes people don't even realize that they're doing it. And so that's where I think you need to speak your mind and tell them exactly what's going on. The other time, in other situations where it is, let's say, one-on-one, you can certainly address it right then and there. Again, I don't feel it needs to be confrontational. It can be done in a very calm manner and just say exactly how you feel. I felt that XYZ, you were bullying me. This is how I feel. I don't appreciate it. Whatever the situation is, and whatever words you are going to use so that the other person understands that that behavior was like not okay.
I think the reason why this is so important, and you please tell me if you agree with this, the reason why this is so important is that when you are standing up for yourself in any area of your life, you will stand up for yourself in other areas of your life. But if you let stuff slide in these areas that are really important to you, being bullied, it's your universe.
Absolutely. And
Right?
I think what happens is, and I've noticed, I had my own issues with this kind of stuff years ago. It's not to say that I just stepped into it. It took work for me as well to learn to stand up for myself. I think what happens if you don't stand up for yourself, you start to lower yourself and kind of crouch down each time. And so then the next time a situation happens, again, you don't stand up, and internally you have that guilt and you fight yourself. Why didn't it stand up? Then the third time it happens, and the fourth, and it keeps going on. Whereas if you stand up for yourself the first time, you empower yourself and say, wow, I did it. The next time it happens, again, you'll stand up for yourself. And then you'll begin to portray a sense of confidence and just your communication with your body. People almost understand not to do that because you will have the confidence to say something if you're not okay with it. And so I think that's where the empowerment piece comes in, is that like anything, the more you do it, the more confident you get. And so it's either not going to happen, or you will have the courage and the confidence to stand up and say something.
Yeah, I think this is so empowering. We didn't even get a chance to talk about your karate and your martial arts and all the other things, which is why I want to have you back where we can go into that a little bit longer. For now, let's tell the audience where they can find you on social media, where they can look you up, and a website or anything.
Sure. So my website is the brand that you see behind me, fabulousfearless.com. My Instagram is fabulous.fearless. My business Facebook page is Fabulous and Fearless. And then I'm also on LinkedIn under my first and last name, Christina Ioannides, Ioannides. So I'm pretty much available on all social media platforms as well as my website.
So I love your brand, Fabulous and Fearless. So what did you take on a word for the year or a theme for the year or for the season or something? Or is it just you are fabulous and fearless and that's all?
So last year I had the word courage, and I felt that it totally helped me out. This year I didn't initially pick a word until I saw someone on social media. I was like, I haven't picked a word this year, and I went with peace.
Nice. I like that.
When
I like
you're,
that.
when you have calm and you're peaceful, it's just a lot easier to kind of go through life and make decisions.
Yeah.
You
That's
get
wonderful.
chaotic, but when you're peaceful, it's like, okay, things might get hairy, but you will be able to make sound decisions without getting all crazy.
Yeah. Peace is good. I mean, the body loves our physical bodies love feeling the energy of peace, calm.
Absolutely.
That's where we can really receive, and that's where we're in our harmony. That's the best place to be. So you're empowering and fearless and peaceful. So I love that. I want to thank you, Christine. Yeah, I want to thank you for coming on. We're going to do another show with you where we can go longer and deeper and learn about the other things you're doing. I want to thank you, the audience, for tuning in and listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show. We're going to see you again next Friday. Have a magical week, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Kornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For more information on Kornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at korneliastephanie.com.